everyone, and thank you so much for coming back to my channel. My name is Lala, and today we're gonna make this cute crochet card together. It can also be a toy, but the reason I designed it is to put it on the mirror in my new car, my new red car. So you can use a thicker yarn and a bigger hook size to make a toy if you have a nephew or a kid, and you can also use thinner yarns to make a pendant for the mirror or even a keychain. If you don't know me, hi, my name is Lala. I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to my channel and like this video so I can continue grow my channel and upload a new crochet tutorial every week. Without further ado, let's ride! We're gonna start by taking our yarn and hook, our color A yarn, the color of the car, whichever color you pick, and start by working a magic ring. And if you're not sure or you want a slower tutorial on how to work a magic ring, I'll link a tutorial now on screen. Then we're going to start by working 10 single crochets into the ring. So go with your hook into the loop, yarn over, into the loop, yarn over into both loops, and this is our first single crochet. If you want to mark it with a stitch marker, it's totally recommended, so you won't miss the first stitch when we go back around. Let's work 9 more single crochets. Count your stitches and make sure you have 10 stitches. And when you have 10 stitches, you're going to pull this string here and close the magic ring until it's totally closed. Then we're going to take out the stitch marker and go with our hook into that first single crochet of the round. Yarn over, into the stitch, and when you have 2 loops on your hook, we're going to grab the left loop into the right one to work a slip stitch, and this joins our round. Then we're going to chain 1 and start round 2. In round 2, we're going to work a 3 single crochet increase into the first stitch. So this is the first stitch that you just slip stitched into. You're going to insert your hook into the first stitch of the round that we just slip stitched into, yarn over into the stitch, work a single crochet, and work 2 more single crochets into that same stitch. 2 and 3. 3 single crochets in 1 stitch. This chain doesn't count, so we're going to mark the first single crochet of the increase as the first stitch of round 2. Then we're going to move over to the next stitch, and we're going to single crochet into the stitch, move over to the next stitch and work a single crochet into it as well. Then we're going to work again a 3 single crochet increase in the next stitch. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, and 3 into the same stitch. We're going to move over to the next stitch and work 1 single crochet, move over to the next stitch and work again a 3 single crochet increase, next we're going to work 2 single crochets in the next 2 stitches, so 1 and into the second one, 2. Into the next stitch, again a 3 single crochet increase, 1, 2, and 3, and 1 single crochet into the last stitch we got left. Overall, you're supposed to have 18 stitches in the round, so count your stitches, and when you make sure your counting is right, You can take out the stitch marker and slip stitch into the first single crochet of the round and chain 1. Next we're going to simply single crochet around, 1 single crochet in each stitch. So start with the first stitch, the one that we just slip stitched into to join the round. Mark the first stitch. You don't have to, but it's just for comfort. And continue working 1 single crochet in each of the next stitches in round 2. When you got to the end of the round, you're not going to slip stitch regularly. We're going to change color to white. And how are we going to do that? We're going to first insert our hook into the stitch, put our work on the table for a second, grab color B yarn, the white yarn, wrap it around the hook like this, hold it tightly, and go into 2 loops like this. Then we're going to chain 1, then start round 4 with 6 single crochets in the next 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Next we're going to work a 3 single crochet increase in the next stitch. 1, into the same stitch, 2, and 3. Next single crochet 3, 1, 2, and 3. Next single crochet 3 increase in the next stitch, 1, into the same stitch, 2, and 3, and single crochet into the next 7 stitches. Don't forget that this is a slip stitch. It doesn't count as a stitch. There's nothing wrong with your counting. And then we're going to insert our hook into the first single crochet of the round and slip stitch to join the round. Then chain 1 and start round 5. For round 5, we're simply going to single crochet around. At the end of this round, you're supposed to have 22 stitches. When you get to the end of the round, make sure your counting is right and you have 22 stitches, and if you do, you can go into the first single crochet with a slip stitch and chain 1 to join the round. For round 6, we're simply going to repeat round 5 and single crochet around for the next 22 stitches. When you got to the end of the round, slip stitch into the first single crochet of the round and join the round, chain 1. Next, for round 7, we're going to start by single crochet 7. So into that first single crochet of the round, this is the first one. You can again mark it with a stitch marker, 6 more, Then we're going to work an increase in the next stitch, only 2 single crochets, not 3. Then work 5 single crochets in the next 5 stitches. Then work an increase. And then work 8 single crochets in the next 8 stitches. At the end of this round, you're supposed to have 24 stitches, so make sure you got the right counting. And then we're going to switch back the color to color A. So grab the yarn that we left behind, insert your hook into the first single crochet of the round, grab color A and into both loops. You can pull this strand to keep it tightened, and then chain 1. We're going to start round 8 by working an increase into the first single crochet of the round. 1 and 2. Then work 7 single crochets into the next 7 stitches. At this point you can also cut off the white yarn, color B yarn, we won't be needing it anymore. Next we're going to increase again in the next stitch. 1 and 2 in the same stitch. And then we're going to single crochet 5 in the next 5 stitches. Then we're going to increase in the next stitch, 2 stitches in the same stitch. Then we're going to single crochet 5 in the next 5 stitches. Next we're going to increase in the next stitch, 2 single crochets in 1 stitch, and then single crochet in the last 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. At the end of this round you're supposed to have 28 stitches, so make sure your counting is right, and if it is, just join the round with a slip stitch into the first stitch and chain 1. For round 9 we're going to start by working 16 single crochets in the next 16 stitches. So single crochet in the first stitch, and now we're going to start working rows to work the engine area. We're going to turn our work like this. You can either chain 1 or do not chain 1, it doesn't matter, but if you chain 1, this chain doesn't count as a stitch. And then we're going to single crochet 7 in this direction. So into the first single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7. We're going to repeat that one more time. We're going to turn our work, chain 1 or do not chain 1, and single crochet 7 to the end of the row. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then we're going to turn our work 90 degrees like this. We're going to work on this side of the car. If this is the front of the car, we're going to work on the side. We're going to chain 1, and it also doesn't count as a stitch. Then we're going to work 3 single crochets to each of these 3 rows, meaning 1 single crochet on the side of the last row we did. 1, 2, and 3 into the last one. And then we're going to continue working single crochets starting from this increase here. You see that this stitch is already occupied. We're going to start from this stitch here after it. 1, 2 for 12 stitches, 12 single crochets until the end of the round. When you're done, you're going to slip stitch into the first single crochet of the round, join the round, and chain 1. At the end of this round, you're supposed to have 34 stitches in the round. Next, we're going to single crochet around, and to make it more clear, we're going to single crochet all the way here on the side, and when we get here to the engine area, we're going to do this together. Nine stitches, and then we're going to single crochet 3 for each of the 3 rows here. So 1, 2, and 3 in the last one. And now we're going to start working on this area here. So we're going to turn our work 90 degrees and go into that first stitch in the row here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 9 stitches here, 3 stitches here on the side, and 7 more stitches here. And then turn your work and go into this stitch here. And continue working single crochets all the way to the end of the round. And this is the round. At the end of this round, you're supposed to have 34 stitches. So count your stitches and make sure that your counting is right. And next, for rounds 13 and 14, we're simply going to single crochet around 1 stitch in every stitch. So I'm going to complete my 2 rounds off camera, and I'll see you back again when we have round 14 completed. When you got to the end of the round, before you join the round and fasten off, we're going to chain 1 for a second, secure the last loop with a... We're going to grab 4 stitch markers in addition to the one we put on the last chain. We're going to start counting our stitches in the last round and then mark with our stitch markers stitch number 3, stitch number 13, stitch number 20, and finally stitch number 30. Now we can take out the stitch marker on the loop, bring back the hook, join the round with a slip stitch into the first single crochet of the round, chain 1, grab our scissors and cut off the yarn, not too long, not too short, pull away the hook, and tighten the stitch up to fasten off. We got the top of the car completed. Now we're going to make the bottom. Next, we're going to start working on the bottom of the car, and we're going to start by making a slip knot in any way you like. And if you need a refreshment, I'll link a tutorial now on screen showing 3 different ways on how to make a slip knot. Then you're going to chain 9. This is how our foundation chain will look after we've chained 9. Then we're going to turn our work, and starting from the second chain from the hook, single crochet 8 all the way to the end of the chain. So skip this chain, insert your hook into the second chain from the hook, and single crochet. Then we're going to turn our work and repeat for 8 more rows. Simply single crochet into each of the previous 8 single crochets for 9 rows overall. I'm going to work my rows off camera, and I'll meet you back again at the end of row 9. Now, after you made it to row number 9, you're going to have 9 single crochets here, 1 for each row, and 8 single crochets here, 1 for each single crochet in the row. We're going to chain 1, grab our scissors, and leave a long tail for sewing, because we're going to sew the bottom to the bottom of the car. Move away the hook and tighten the stitch up. And for the next step, you're going to grab a darning needle. We're going to start sewing from this part, the last stitch we did in the bottom part, to between those stitch markers, or these stitch markers, it doesn't matter. I like to start from here, so the seam will be on the back. We're going to put it here so we can see it clearly, and you're going to pass the needle into both stitches, the one that's with the stitch marker and the first one in the bottom of the car, the panel that we just did. Then we're going to move to the next stitch after it and also do the same. Pass the needle through both stitches. Continue like this until you get to the end of the row, and you work your way to the other stitch marker. When you get to the slip stitch here that joined the round, you're going to skip it and insert your darning needle into the first single crochet of the round and the next stitch in the bottom of the car. 2 last stitches. Take out the stitch marker, it will be easier, and insert it into the last stitch. Next is a little bit trickier, but we'll pass through it. You're going to match each of the next 9 stitches to each of the next 9 rows. So we already did 1 row here. We're going to do the same. Here's the second row. We're going to insert our darning needle into the next stitch and into the next row. The most important thing is to make sure you're not miscounting the stitches. Each stitch to the corresponding row. Two last rows. And we have half of the car stitched. Now we're going to fill up the car a little bit. I'm going to use tons of scrape yarn that I have, but you can also, of course, use some stuffing material. After the car is mostly filled, we're going to do the same for the next part. Simply stitch one stitch to its corresponding stitch until you reach the next stitch marker. Again, just like here, 9 stitches to 9 rows till you get to the next stitch marker. And when we're done with the stitching, we can just weave in the tail and tuck it inside the car. Now for the windows details, we're going to cut off a long piece of yarn in color A, the color of the car you chose. First, we're going to work the front window. So we're going to work those 2 lines here, about 5 to 6 stitches apart. Next, we're going to work the back windows from here to here. And lastly, between the front window to the back window, we're going to work one more line for the 2 windows of the seats. And once we're done, we're going to weave in the ends or tie them up together and then weave them. I always like to tie them up first to make sure it won't get loose, and only then weave them in. Now we're almost done. We're going to work the wheels. Next, we're going to make the wheels, so grab your black color yarn. And we're going to start by making a magic ring. And work 10 half double crochets into the ring. To work a half double crochet, you're going to first yarn over into the ring, yarn over again into the ring, and when you have 3 loops on your hook, going to yarn over into 3 of them. Again, it is always recommended to mark the first stitch with a stitch marker, also because it's black and it's more challenging. Let's work 9 more half double crochets into the ring. And when we got 10 half double crochets inside the ring, we're going to pull the strand here to close the ring, take out the stitch marker, and join the round with a slip stitch into the first stitch of the round. And then chain 1 to fasten off. Grab your scissors and leave a medium tail for sewing, not too much, but enough to attach it to the card. Pull the hook away, tighten the stitch up, and repeat these steps 3 more times to have 4 wheels. I'm gonna make my wheels off camera and I'll see you back again when we have 4 wheels like this one. It's time for the final part and we're going to sew them to the car. Grab a darning needle, and what I like to do first is use the strand from the magic ring, the one that's closer to the center of the circle. Insert it into the darning needle, pass it through the center so it will be really centered. I put it like this on the card to make sure I put it in the right place. Then I insert the needle to that bottom part of the card. And this helps the wheel to be centered while I use this strand that we left for the sewing to pin it down to the car. Just pass it through the car and the wheel a few times to make sure it's stable. Then what I like to do is take out the darning needle through the place where we took out the strand from the magic ring. Tie both ends together. And then weave it inside the car. And then if you have any strands left, you can just cut them out. And we're going to do the same thing to all 3 other wheels. 1 here and other 2 here. And this is it, guys. This is our crochet car. I really hope you like this tutorial. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel because I upload a new crochet tutorial every week and it really supports my work if you do. I'll see you next video. Bye!